So we're gonna go into Boss Rush 1 again, and I'm gonna talk about different things that have been on my mind recently. And these are basically things about public schools and why I believe that they are BS, right? So a couple key reasons. The work that we get is quite redundant and completely useless after elementary because think about it, right? When you're in elementary, you need to learn the basics, you need to learn the alphabet, you need to learn how to spell, how to read, and all that stuff. And learn about history, the different presidents, the different states, and of course, you need to learn math, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division so that you could learn how to count money and stuff like that, which is all good and dandy, right? But like once you get to middle school, man, it just really feels like they're just trying to drag the life out of you. They're just like, "Oh, um, like they're like, "Oh, you need to do what did I do in middle school? You need to do all of these advanced math problems, like these two-step equations, and I'm just like, wait, why do I have to do this? I'm not going to use this in real life. And I've actually made that argument before, and teachers have actually agreed with me. They're like, yeah, I agree. You're not going to need to use that in real life. And I'm like, wow, that just proves how idiotic the public school systems are because they just forcefully. It's like they're force feeding us knowledge that we don't even need in real life. And honestly, that's why I'm glad that I'm gonna be done with high school because once I'm done with high school, I can go to art college and finally study something that I care about and something that, is actually gonna benefit me because honestly, in high school, it was way worse than middle school because middle school, it was bad, but, at least some of the work that we did was interesting and, caught my attention, but high school, it's just, I mean, sure, we had these little science projects, like we built rockets and launched them, these rockets made of like bottles and stuff. That was fun. And we had this project where you had to make gummies larger. That was also fun. But, there was a lot of awkward things that we had to learn in science class. There was like this program where people would come in and they would talk about like, peer pressure and drug use and teen pregnancy and all this, and I'm like, I was confused because I thought this was science class. I didn't think that this was a mental health class or something. And honestly, it was really idiotic because I was the only person in the entire class, not even joking, the only person in the entire class that knew that every 4 years you have to go see the eye doctor, and every 2 years or 1.5 year you have to go see the normal doctor. And I was actually shocked because it's like, how do you not know that you have to go to the eye doctor every 4 years and you're like, what, this was freshman year, this like you're like 15, 16 years old and you still don't know these basic things? Like that's really embarrassing. That just proves how idiotic and stupid some people in this generation are. And keep in mind that my high school was a C school, so it wasn't even like the greatest academically. It was kind of like average at most, but a majority of the time people just cheated. Like I remember I was testing doing this final exams, and I literally remember this girl, this idiotic female in my testing location. This stupid idiot literally had an Apple Watch and it literally went off during the test, and we almost all got you know our test invalidated because her idiotic self wouldn't want to study for the test. Even though the test really wasn't that hard, I passed, but she didn't, which is kind of hilarious because she still cheated and she still couldn't pass, but that was in the past. But honestly, it's also sad because it feels like most schools, I don't know about your guys' schools, but it feels like most schools just show favoritism toward people that play sports, and the quote unquote cool idiotic kids, Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a pretty popular person myself. I know how to get around. I know a good amount of people and stuff inside and outside of school. But I mean, at least I have common sense, which a majority of the people at my school don't. Which is why they're a C school and not an A school like my middle school was. But yeah, senior year for me at least, it was terrible. I mean, we got buttloads of work, right? We had to wake up at like 5, 6 in the morning, and they would all. Well, I don't understand why we had to do meetings as well. It's like I mean, in junior year we didn't have to do meetings. All you had to do was log into our student website, and then that would be our attendance for the entire day, which I love that. It was so convenient. We could rest. We just had to do our classwork, and that was it. It was super convenient, easy, and it was good. But for some reason, they want us to do these long meetings, and honestly, I just can't wait to go to art college and meet people with similar interests as me because if I'm being honest, at high school, not a lot of people share the same interests as me. Only a couple of close friends. But yeah, and I remember in my sophomore year of high school, there was this teacher, and she would basically get mad at everybody except for the cool kids. Like I said earlier, cool kids are kind of the niche at my school. But yeah, like this hypocrite stupid ass teacher, she would pretty much be like, "Oh, you can't do your work in class." And it's like, "Listen here, you stupid ass. This class is intended for people that need help with math. That's why it's only like 10 people." But she was being a pain in the butt all the time. And honestly, guys, she was so annoying. She literally failed me because I didn't I did do the work. I did do the work. I tried to turn it in, but she wouldn't accept it. And honestly, I still have grief and anger towards her because this is literally her fault. I have to have two stupid math classes this year, but you know what? That's in the past. Yes, I'm still angry that she failed me, of course. And it's funny too because I actually have that same teacher this year. Um and I have her for 7th period, but every time that I have her class, I'm always, I'm just taking a rest, sleeping because I don't want to have to deal with her annoyingness. And, she just drags on the math lesson over like an hour. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. Just, let us go. But, anyways, yeah, I'm just going to take out Janemba, and I hope that you guys like my content. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And tell me in the comments if you guys hate public schools or do you like public school? Was your school better? How was your guys' school year online? And um yeah. Anyways, I might just cut the video off here, so bye.